it's still in the works?
We handle audio. We had a conversation at our last board meeting. We added to that proposal the audio recorder. Got a quote on that, and tonight we have a budget transfer paper. So after that budget transfer is made, which is ready to go.
Is that number E under new business?
Yes.
I did get some more information on the video system from Gene Shanko down at the town office. And the 420, although I think he told me there's a 405, but we reported 420, is a lease payment for the service and the equipment. So that option that was brought forth is the entire payment would be 420 for unlimited access. The other issue that we were talking about is buying into whether you can shortcut to agenda items. It is an add-on, but Dean was telling me that he does it a different way that doesn't cost any money. He basically just the next day when he pulls it up, he just goes in there and during the meeting, he writes on the agenda that, a certain thing happened at, 8:30, and then he just goes into the video and just punches it in and puts it in after. So you can do it. The add-on one lets you, I believe, have a button that you push, something that you just key it in at the moment that it happens. So $420 a month looks like the total cost. Now that's excluding camera. That's the box to send it up to the internet only. So that doesn't deal with the camera issue. I don't know, did we find out about any availability of cameras here in the school? Because that was one thing that I was kind of interested in, is whether we had, and I mean, we have some time because obviously this, it wouldn't be up and working immediately, but.
Did we find out anything?
Yeah, it would be up to the board. I think our general thinking is we should have a dedicated camera that we know is working.
Just for that purpose.
And so is there no surplus camera in the schools? Is that?
No, there are no surplus cameras.
I just have a question. Do we need to have a video and have it online in addition to the private one that's out? I mean, I don't know, 420 a month seems like very little, but every month, I mean, that adds up. Do we need to have that if we have the audio already?
Yes.
So that's just my question. We need to have the video?
Well, the interesting thing too is if you go on the town website, they've done a lot with what they have. They have meetings with department heads that he puts up. Like now we're coming to the vote for the warrant articles. So they have talked to the CIP chair about what the CIP warrant articles are about. So there's a lot of information up there. It's probably not getting that utilized, but it takes time, for people to kind of warm up to that stuff. And if it's not there, then you won't. The other thing that's coming up, and I don't know that it would affect us, but I would encourage anybody here to contact Dr. Schenkel about, is that we're going to be renegotiating the Comcast contract, which there has been a percentage of Comcast money that's always been taken out, about $100,000 a year. It's kind of supposed to go for this kind of stuff, and it never has. So, I would be much in favor of having that money pay for their service and our service. We can't go into it, I don't think, well, we could go into it without waiting to see if that would happen, but I think even at $420 a month, when you compare it to what we're collecting from Comcast, it would be a relatively small amount. Now, I'm not speaking that that's likely to happen or not, I don't know. But I'm certainly going to advocate for that. Now that, well, if we adopt a system, both the school and the town will have a economical system that I think would be funded through that. So there's some possibilities.
Any other comments? Questions?
That's unlimited. If we had extra meetings or a meeting or a subcommittee meeting, we could do it too, also.
It's unlimited, and as far as I know, you don't have to take it down, so it becomes a historical record. It can stay there for, you know, some time to come. I will say that the quality of it is going to be dependent upon whether we have a camera operator or we don't. If you watch any videos that don't have camera operators, you have one big wide shot, which is just not as interesting to watch as if you have someone that zooms in on whoever's speaking and so forth. So that would be reliant on what we decide to do on our end.
That could even be a student or a volunteer or something, right? That could do
That's
that.
been my proposal, and I've offered to help with that. I'd certainly be willing to work with a couple of students. I think we could also get the students to help us with the audio system. And, you know, they certainly would get some community service hours and learn a little bit about, you know, how things work. The actual, you know, operation, pointing of the video camera is not really that difficult, even though I do it as a profession, but it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, well, just to summarize where I think we're at, I'm sorry, Tricia. I was looking at my notes.
If we participated in this service, could this also be used when we have events where students are performing, like concerts, plays, where that they could be videotaped and put out so parents who are unable to attend an event could watch it, similar to what Manchester Community TV does when they have a concert at a school?
Well, it certainly would have the capability, because you can either feed into it live, which means you're near the box, or you can record it on the camera and then just have the camera play it back. So logistically, you could take the camera down to the gym, tape something, bring it back here, and then dump it into the system. The only caveat I would say is like, you know, it came up about the play that we had. Well, you'd have to think about the copyright issues before you put something up there on the school district website that may be restricted by copyright. But other things that are events that are not restricted, I wouldn't see there being a problem with it. You certainly want children that have agreed to be photographed. I mean, as far as the releases that we have signed and so forth, we want to be aware of that.
Well, we're moving forward on the audio, that's gonna be purchased, assuming we do the business later on.
I can't remember the name of the service. I'd like to make a motion that we purchase a video camera and subscribe to the service that can bring our meetings online. I don't know if I'm wording that right.
Granicus? Granicus, I think.
Granicus?
Granicus.
Is that what you mean by with that?
Yep.
You know, a second.
Discussion?
I'd like to propose an amendment to the motion that says we won't spend more than $1,000 on the video camera.
Second, yeah, second for the amendment.
You want an amendment?
Any discussion on the amendment?
We don't know what the price is, though. I don't know what they go for, but I'm sure.
Well,
1,000.
for discussion,
pretty
I
decent.
mean, you could, yeah, you could get, you can spend 4,000 or 5,000, but we don't really need to. So I think 1,000 would be the high end of what we would need to spend. The other thing that it would, buying a camera would allow us to go tapeless, so it would be recorded to a card. So you don't have to worry about supply of tape or anything, and it's very likely that the Granicus will have a card reader right in it. So you could just literally take the card out of the camera if you were in the gym, and bring the card down here and plug the card in. So the camera could be kind of put away or whatever. So there is some definite advantages to going with a new camera. So
and my only concern with it is that we never budgeted $420 a month to go towards this. And, you know, we're in this year, we've already have our budget set for next year. So I'm kind of concerned about that. Where we're coming down to crunch money, I'd rather see that money be spent on what the kids need. And really, if we want to do this moving forward, then we need to decide to put that into the budget. So I'm really, even buying a camera for $1,000, I'm not exactly on board with at this time.
Well, I would be in favor of using a school camera until we could purchase a camera. I think there's advantages to buying, but I think there's certainly no reason that we couldn't use an old camera. I think as far as what the kids need, we have a great advantage here by what Mrs. Corcus was talking about of student activities to bring people into this site that the town doesn't have. The town frankly has a lot of dry information up there for people to watch. We have a lot of dynamic kids here doing a lot of dynamic stuff, which may bring people into the site and maybe get them more involved in some of the other things that, like school board meetings or other things that are going on. So I think you're gonna see this, our site would probably grow in viewership much faster than the town because of that interest of parents wanting to see their kids perform or give a speech or whatever. I think it fits perfectly with our 21st century initiative here because, I mean, that is, you know, it's the web and things will be readily available for parents to watch. And, you know, so I think it's well worth the money. So I would support it if, you know, with taking the camera out if that's going to make it more likely to pass.
Well, and I think we've already done the budget for next year, but I think we could buy the camera out of this year's budget. Could we not? I mean,
We can find that out of fund balance.
well, but it would be a fund balance.
Why, yeah,
Right. Find it somewhere
Unencumbered funds.
unencumbered, yeah. And if we did that, I mean, then we have the cost just per month next year, but,
Well, we have, any more?
The only thing I would ask is, there's no plan. And I want to know logistically, what the board would like to do. There's a lot of who's in here, like who's going to upload it, who's going to monitor it, who's going to get the camera, who's going to record. I'd just like to know what the plan is so we can implement the plan. And if we go to the video service at $420 a month, I just need to know what you want me to adjust in next year's budget. Thank you. That's the information I want. If I had the camera tomorrow, I wouldn't know who's gonna stand behind the camera, who's gonna upload it, how long it's gonna be up there for. Do we do things in perpetuity? Only fair to the public to let them know, for instance, if we're doing board meetings, that we're gonna keep them up for a year or 2 years. How do we provide that link? Where do we put that link? Are we gonna put it on the school board website? I just need to know what the plan is so we can implement it for you.
I can tell you, I was, of course, we moved forward on the audio because we had some concerns about the American Disabilities Act issues. And it appears we're moving in a direction of having video. But Cheryl, you brought up a very good point, and I thank you for it because I'm the one that's going to be going to the budget committee to talk about it. You know, we don't have it budgeted, and I think it's a great plan. But yeah, I think at this point I would vote against the video just for that very reason. I like the concept. I think it's a great idea, but I think we need to plan from a budget perspective, and that will give us time to come up with a plan for implementation as well.